Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the KellyCast. I'm, of course, your host, Dan Kelly. If this is your first time here, welcome to the channel. We keep you up to date on the latest NFL content. As you can see by the set, big Bills fan here. We cover the Bills every week. There's always a Bills video. Be on the lookout for that. And we do predictions, we do analysis, and that's what I'm here to do today to finish off week 3. This is the first week of the season that I've had videos out for all the games. So if you like that, leave a like on the video, share, subscribe, tell your neighbors, your friends, your enemies, your neighbors' friends, your neighbors' enemies, everybody about the KellyCast podcast if it's something that you enjoy. We're starting off today talking Dolphins and Seahawks. This game in Seattle. Of course, we know the storyline with Miami, right? Tua Tagovailoa goes down with a concussion last week against the Buffalo Bills on Thursday Night Football after running into Damar Hamlin's chest. If you want my full thoughts on that, go watch the Bills and Dolphins video. For now, I will tell you the latest with Tua is that he has spoken to medical professionals. He has said that he does not plan to retire, and the Miami Dolphins did put him on short-term IR, which means he will miss at least the next 4 games. That's the short term. Skylar Thompson going to come in, be the quarterback. Don't know how well he's going to do. Meanwhile, last week, the Seattle Seahawks went into New England and in overtime beat the Patriots 23-20. Geno Smith had a really good day, 33 of 44, 327 yards and a score. Charbonnet, not great in K9's departure, being injured. He had a total of 38 yards on 14 carries with a touchdown, and DK Metcalf went off 10 receptions, 129 yards, and a score. The Miami Dolphins struggled against the Bills. That's putting it lightly, right? The final in that one was 31-10, and even when Tua was healthy, everything was going the Bills' way. He had an overthrow, he had a batted interception as well, and I think that really messed with his confidence. But with the way things stand right now, with Skylar Thompson coming in as the starter, I am going to have to select the Seattle Seahawks this week. I'll toss up the rest of the KellyCast predictions right about here, and you can see how all 12 of the people in the league are doing, myself included, so I guess 11, right? Sam, Aaron, Mitch, Kevin, all tied for first last week, second, third, and last also tied, where it's going to be interesting to see if we have a solo winner and when will that happen. Stay tuned to the KellyCast Facebook page and the KellyCast here on YouTube for that answer. But we're going to move on to the next game. We got 5 games to go through today, so let's kick it off. Lions and Cardinals. Now, these are two teams that had very different weeks in week 2 in the NFL. The Detroit Lions went out and they lost a tough game to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 20-16, the final in that one. The Arizona Cardinals beat the LA Rams by 31 points last week, 41-10. That offense really put up numbers. Marvin Harrison Jr. obviously had his best day, 4 receptions, 130 yards, 2 touchdowns, one of those over former Buffalo Bill Tre'Davious White. Man, you know, you had 2 leg injuries that were very serious, and you were not able to keep up with Marvin Harrison on this day. The Detroit Lions, though, the better team in the long term, I feel like, and in terms of who's better talent-wise, I would say Detroit. And for that reason, I am picking the Detroit Lions in this game. I struggled, though, because Arizona had 2 great weeks, and I'm interested to see how their offense is going to play moving forward, because I'm not sure if it's a flash in the pan or if with Marvin Harrison Jr., with James Conner, this is how that offense is going to be producing this season. We're going to have to see if that's the case. I'll toss up the rest of the KellyCast predictions right about now, see how Mike and Nick do, who were in last place last week. Nick, happy to be in last. Mike, not so much. So we're going to have to see exactly what happens with them. Let's move on to the next game here, going into the 49ers and the Rams. The LA Rams did not come to play last week in a divisional battle. They just got absolutely stomped. And the 49ers did not have a good week too either. They lost to the Vikings 23-17. Sam Darnold looking like an MVP candidate. Brock Purdy goes 28 of 36, 319, a touchdown and an interception. Without CMC, Jordan Mason goes for 100 and a touchdown, and Debo goes 8 receptions, 110 yards. This is another tough one. It's a divisional game. You never know. Are these going to be blowouts? Are they going to be close? The teams know each other really, really well. I think I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers, the more complete team. I think they have a better squad to bounce back than the Rams do, even with them being the home team. I feel like I took a lot of home teams this week, and sometimes you just have to bet. You have to bet on the away team. And the only way anybody's going to pry that KellyCast World Championship away is if you pick some games that not everybody else is going to pick. With that, I'll toss the rest of the KellyCast predictions up. Melissa not happy to be in second this week. She's looking to get back into first. She wasn't very happy with me, but it happens. It's how it goes here in the league that the KellyCast predicts in. Let's move on to the next game here, which is going to be the Dallas Cowboys hosting the Baltimore Ravens. Ravens and Cowboys here. Man, the Ravens 0-2 to start the season. I'm very surprised by that, especially with the signing of Derrick Henry. I thought that offense was going to be pretty unstoppable. For Dallas, CeeDee Lamb continues to do what he does out on the field, wearing 88 and showing why he deserves to wear 88, even after Dez Bryant obviously made that number pretty famous there. Also, Michael Irvin wearing 88. But last week, the Cowboys got absolutely destroyed. 44-19 was the final by the Saints, by the New Orleans Saints. And we talked about this in a previous video as well. Are the Saints for real? Are they legit? It's too early to tell. We're going to have to see how they do for the rest of September before we call that. But they did put a beating on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, the Baltimore Ravens, they had a chance. They had a chance to go down. They said, Lamar, take this ball. Beat us with your arm. Go and win the game. 2-minute drill. Yeah. And it didn't work. The Las Vegas Raiders got their first win of the season, and the Ravens are still searching for it. And this is a problem early on in the season. Teams that start 0-2 typically do not make the playoffs. That game last week, 26-23 was the final. Lamar threw a pick. Derrick Henry under 100 yards. Zay Flowers, 7 receptions, 91 yards, and a score. With all that being said, the Ravens struggling. The Dallas Cowboys giving up 44 last week at home. This game also home for them. I'm going to say 2 losses at home in a row. Give me the Baltimore Ravens. I feel like they need to put things in gear. If they're going to be anything this year in the AFC, they need to get things going right now. Not a second later, not a second sooner. They need to get back in the win column starting this week. If they don't, it's going to be a real problem in that division. Obviously, you have Cincinnati, you have Cleveland. So we're going to have to see how that goes for them. Moving on to the final game we have here, which is the Commanders and the Bengals. All right. Bengals last week. Again, talked about in a previous video with Mike of the KellyCast as well. Whether you want to call that pass interference or not, that's completely up to you. I think it's a hard call to make. And the Commanders go out and get their first win against the New York Giants last week. Jaden Daniels had a really good performance. Week 1, not so much. Week 2, you were playing the Giants, so of course, take that into account, but a really solid week nonetheless. Brian Robinson, you see him in the graphic, 133 yards for him on the day. Love to see it. Gesicki led the Bengals in receiving. Glad that he's out of the AFC East. I don't have to deal with him anymore. On the Miami Dolphins, yes, we did not include the Bills and Jags in any of these videos. Myself and Mike are going to that game on Monday here in Orchard Park. Very excited to go. We're going to try to film some stuff there. We're going to try to film some stuff after as well. So please stay tuned for that. If you love the Bills content, if you love the NFL content, that'll be right here on the channel. Also follow us on Facebook at the KellyCast. But you're here to get my prediction. Commanders and Bengals, this game in Cincinnati. I got to go Bengals. And I don't know if T. Higgins, when he's coming back, but I think the home team here, I've taken a lot of away teams now in a row. So I'm going to go with the Bengals, going with the jungle. Don't like for them to win. I don't want them to win a lot of games. I don't want them to get home field advantage in the playoffs. And they're going to pick things up once September takes a break and we get into October because we know how Joe Burrow and those Bengals roll. T. Higgins also yet to come back. Washington, young team. Can they do it? Possibly. This is under the lights. It's not the only game on because the Bills and Jags are on. It's a doubleheader on Monday night, but I don't think the Commanders are ready for that yet. But if you made it this far, please leave a like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to tell everybody about the KellyCast. Season 2, this time, it's personal. Y'all know the deal right now. We'll be back with more very soon, but until then, I'm Dan Kelly for the KellyCast predictions. Take it easy.